Hi, Gemma. Thank you for joining me on the podcast. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me.
No, it's brilliant to speak to you. We've had this planned a while, haven't we?
Yeah, we keep missing, but it's happening. Here we go.
Yeah, brilliant. That's how you doing. You all right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
You mentioned you've been busy working on a farm now. What's that like?
Yeah. So I mum, I drum, and I farm these days. It's not a farm that you imagine though. I don't drive the tractor. I'm on a quad bike, and I've got horses and a new piglet.
I bet it's different to the rock and roll world, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I've always been a horse girl, so I've always had the two lives. I've always said there's London Gemma and then there's Essex Gemma. There's, the farm and horse animal side, and then, the rock and roll.
Well, let's get back to the start. What was your early life like, and when did you get into music?
So I've grown up around music. My dad is when I was growing up was a music manager, tour manager mostly. And we've always had rehearsal studios as the family business. And yeah, I grew up at a very normal council estate block of flats in London. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the normal life of a Londoner, but we always we always had the music. So yeah, growing up around bands on tour, bands in my house, always in London in the studios with around all the bands. The 90s scene, that Britpop era was, they're all still very good friends of mine, a lot of named bands. So it was it was kind of a no-brainer that I was going to be a musician one way or another. Do you know what I mean?
Were you drumming from an early age then?
No, I actually wanted to be a bass player.
Oh, it's Sid Vicious.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I, yes. Oh, he was my first love. And I was like, I want the snarl, and I practiced the snarl and the low slung bass. None of the talent. Like, I didn't even think that you actually have to play it. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I
he
just,
were early, did he? But
yeah,
he,
apparently he's not very good bass player, was he? So I ticked the boxes. But I was about 12, and my dad, we would go to the studio after school for dinner. We'd just run around the studios making loads of noise and banging on the doors. And he gave me a bass and said, right, if you want to play, hung this full size bass around 12-year-old Gemma's neck. And do you know what I mean? He showed me what to do and left me alone in there. And I remember thinking, well, he shut the door, and I was like, all right, I suppose I better try. And I found I couldn't get my hands around the neck of the guitar. So I'd laid it on the floor and I was tapping the strings like this. My dad says, he goes, I was outside listening, thought, blimey, she's actually playing it. She's got it. And he came in, and then I was like on my knees tapping the strings like this. He went, you're a drummer, Jem. And I had a right tantrum about it because I didn't want to be stuck at the back. That was I just didn't want to be there. I wanted to be leaping and jumping and snarling and sneering like Sid Vicious. But I quite enjoyed hitting them, making loads of noise and being the loud one. So there it stuck.
it's crazy because you started a band like at 14, the Suffragettes. Were you about 14, 15, weren't you?
13. Yeah,
13?
we were
Yeah.
13.
Gee.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. I don't know. You're going to show my age now, but I don't know if anybody remembers. There was a like a late night TV show called The Girly Show. It was Sarah Cox and Sarah Kaywood. It was like those music chat shows that were all the rage in the 90s. But we were called the Girlies, the band, because we didn't have a name. It was just me and my school friends. We could like crash out maybe one song. Yeah, if it could even be classed as a song. But because of all the musicians and my dad's connections, he got word to the girly show that there was a girl band in the studio called the Girlies, and they invited us onto the show.
Really?
We never actually did it, but we got the invite because then obviously the reality was there, and we're like, oh my gosh, we can't play. How can we go on a TV show where we can't play? But that was like the kick up the backside, so to speak, to we really did start writing songs, and my dad took us out and we would gig in our summer holidays and sling us in the van, and if it was half term from school we'd go and tour like a week around the UK. Just we even played in our school lunch hall. I convinced the headmaster to let us play, and we made flyers and handed them out in the playground. And
Did you have that like heavy punk sound then?
yeah, it was. Yeah. We were very Nirvana influenced. Kurt was the god of the time, and then No Doubt. So Gwen Stefani and No Doubt were really quite punky as well. It was quite punky, but not the Sex Pistols kind of punk. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like an Americanized punk. But that sounds like we were like amazing songwriters. We was like 13 and 14-year-old girls. We did.
What's that like going on tour at that age? That must be pretty. I know it's only like in the summer holidays and stuff, but it still must be pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
it was pretty amazing. My dad got us a school tour. Um I know. I haven't talked about this in years. Yeah, there was a bit of a thing with like pop stars, all those like Pop Idol and X Factor,
Yeah.
that kind of show was just starting. And what the pop managers were doing with the put together acts were taking them and doing shows in secondary schools to try and hit the teenage market. So my dad knew some of those guys, and they put us on one of those tours. I can't remember that there was a four-piece boy band that we did 3 or 4 shows with. I can't remember what they were called, if they ever did anything, I don't think, but I can remember the kids' faces like, oh, these 4 boys doing all their dancing, and then these like 3 screechy girls get up and thrash. They're all like, "Ugh." Do you know what I mean? It was a lot of fun though. It was. We learned quickly that was not our market though.
So were you writing songs then early on, like when you mentioned the TV show you went to go on and stuff? After that, you
Yeah,
started writing.
yeah, we did. It was a very make it up. I mean, Alex, I would call her my sister because she was my best friend from primary school and lived with my family and I, because of the band. She was always in my house, lived with me. And so me and her would be, these angst-ridden teenagers thinking we were going to be rock stars, sitting in our bedroom I'd have a notepad and 2 pens, do you know what I mean? And she'd have an acoustic guitar that my dad gave her. And yeah, we were writing songs. They were songs. Whether they would stand up today as what is classed as a song, I don't know.
Well, you did have record labels interested pretty early on, didn't you?
Yeah,
Like
we
you signed at
got
17.
yeah, 16. Yeah, our first
16.
deal was 16. And then we signed a massive deal with Sony when we was 18. Yeah, it was in hindsight, knowing what I know of the business now, it was absolutely unheard of, the deal that we got. And in the market, do you know what I mean? There were a lot of bands being signed at that point, and yeah, we had an amazing deal. We had a really good relationship as well with Sony. We're all still friends to this day, actually, with Sony. They were fantastic. They just saw something in us. And yeah, it was a real good, you hear a lot of musicians these days go, oh, I had this bad deal, that bad deal. No, we had a fantastic deal. And at 18 years old, but see, we were young. We didn't know how amazing that was. Oh, we did, of course, but do you know what I mean? I look
Yeah.
back and I think, oh, if we then knew what we knew now, do you know what I mean? We'd have just milked that for everything we could.
What is that like? Like at 18, did you feel like you'd made it at that point then?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, completely. Like when I finished school, and you have to now you have to do another 2 years, sixth form or college, but it was optional then. So I was the youngest in the band. Everyone else, they were a year older than me, so they'd already had a year with no school or college. And I was like, oh, I'm done now. And my parents are like, no, you should do something. Because I wasn't a stupid at school. I was so focused on my drums. I didn't, do you know what I mean? My grades were good. It wasn't a bad thing. But they'd know you are doing 2 more years in education. So I was like, okay, I'll just do music then. They said, no, something else. In case you decide to change your life when you're older, you get sick of music, then choose something else. So I went for sports.
Really? Well, how far sport?
I did like fitness and biology, and yeah, I just played football and netball and tennis and whatever else for a couple hours a week. But that was right as we were signed. So I can remember so many times a tour bus parked outside college with the girls, come on, Joey, you've got to go in. I'd have like to go into college for 2 hours and then back on the tour bus and back to another gig. And, college was really annoying for me. It really got in my way. And I can remember doing used to do like a verbal presentation about whatever. And I was wearing a hoodie with last night's hair and makeup, the hood up, just at the back in my like jeans, and everyone else is, in all their Adidas and they've gotten all out with their presentation. I had nothing. I really didn't. I was in the middle of a tour and I remember just standing up going, I'm not going to do anything with this qualification. So I'm not going to waste your time. And the lecturer was like, he did try and get rid of me. He used to call me resident rock star. So I made sure that when I did pass, I got a diploma, whatever that was worth it these days for me. But I gave him a whole press pack and one item of every single merchandise we had. He got a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a belt, and I said, "You'll remember me one day."
It's a good to be stuck with the music as well, I think. So that's
because I'm not about to start taking up football now or something.
So do you know, like, as an all-girl band, that was pretty unheard of back then. Like, how we? I know you said Sony treated you well. Were you treated well within the music business as well?
Look, I think I am cut out to be a female in a male-dominated business. Now, nowadays, there's a lot more equality and people are a little more aware of different situations and, like trying not to offend anyone. We didn't have a bad time. We didn't, because we was unaware of it. It was not a lie. There weren't many females, and particularly all girls. And my dad used to say to us, you can't play like girls. Now, you can't say that, I guess, nowadays, I don't know. But he's right. And I still stand by that. He said, don't be girly, girly. And me as a drummer, it's even rarer to have a girl drummer. But he used to say, if you're going to play, hit them. That's what matters. Play like a man, like you are a 30-year-old man. Hit them. Pretend you're not a 15-year-old girl. Do you know what I mean? And I still keep that in my mind. There was a few, you'd get the usuals in sound check, the buses turn up and we start unloading and then there's like 4 hysterical. Like we were always hysterical, giggling and pushing and shoving. And do you know what I mean? We burst off the bus, charge into the venue. We used to get in the flight cases while my dad and the techs were setting the stage up and push each other around like skateboards like being girls. We were young girls.
Well, you were still kids, really, weren't you?
Yeah, we were. And you'd get a lot of bands like, sound engineers or techs like, what the hell is this? And my dad used to always just say, just wait till they play. Just wait. Do you know what I mean? And then as soon as we're plugged in, even for sound check, it's a different mode. And we never played like girls, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I do still stand by that. We didn't have a hard time, but the times have changed now. So I think it wouldn't be so obvious. Trying to look back and find moments where we had a hard time, I never really do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
we had a good time. We were a novelty. You know, there were still not that many all-girl bands making the noise that we made, and we didn't fit into any genre box. Do you know what I mean? We weren't in like just punk or just rock or just indie. We were just girls that played what we played.
Well, I saw a like documentary. It's on YouTube, you know, about the band, and Tim Abbott says like something along the lines like you like sweet girls you didn't expect to hear that sound. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you just said, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, so again, I don't know if you can remember that era, but it was new metal was big. Like the sound of like Lost Prophets was, you know, the sound of the rock world, if you be at that time. But the pop world was very. Britney was massive around that time, and I can remember Sony sent us out shopping with a stylist because they wanted us to be a little more mainstream in what we wore, and we were probably you'd class it as metal style clothing, but you know the big baggy low jeans and little belly tops and caps and stuff. And they took us out shopping, and the stylist said that we were to wear really tight low slung jeans and like bikini tops like Britney. And I can remember just whispering with the other girls like, nah, we'll take the money and run. They didn't give us the money, but we didn't buy the jeans, so you know, everyone's a winner.
What was it like going to LA? Did you play the Whisky A Go Go?
That is something of dreams. I mean, we played the Whisky A Go Go on my 19th birthday. Mind blown. I mean, we got in there for sound check, and I was like rolling around all over the drum riser, like touching it, because Tommy Lee, oh my God, Tommy Lee. Like everyone who's anyone that I love has played that stage, and even that I don't like. It was a little fraught at the beginning because it was, we were due to fly out the day of the 12th of September.
Really?
Yeah, and we were in the studio packing up our equipment ready for the flight as the Twin Towers drama was all unfolding, and we were all sat in the office like, oh, watching on this little tiny TV like, oh my God. So obviously the flights were all cancelled. We weren't sure what was happening, and America was in you know, that dark morning cloud. But we flew out 2 weeks after, I think, near the end of September, and so it was a strange time, but yeah, incredible. I mean, we met Snoop Dogg as well.
Did you?
Yeah,
What was that like?
He had a studio, or like a lock-up studio, next to the studio we were recording at. And again, being young girls, we were idiots. And I did 16 drum tracks in 4 days. That will stay with me forever. Personal best, that is. But then I had 5.5 weeks in LA to do what the hell I wanted to. Everyone thought I'd stay in the studio with them. Absolutely not. I'm in Hollywood, mate. I'm off. And I was hanging around outside being an idiot, and I don't even know what I was doing. Probably trying to skateboard. And the door opened, and I was like, oh my God, I swear to God that has to be Snoop. That has to be Snoop. And the producer came out for a cigarette or something and went, oh, these are the girls from London I was telling you about. We didn't get an official, you know, handshake, hello, but we were acknowledged, and that's enough for me. That is, oh, yeah. I was like, Snoop was right there, and he went, oh, hi.
Gee, that is crazy. Like, 19 of that to go to America and
Yeah,
like
yeah. I was 19, and we went up. We did all the tourist things. We went to Vegas for the day and got thrown out of every single casino because we were underage. We didn't want to do anything. We just wanted to be there, and we had security following us at one point. We're like, look, we're not touching anything. We're not going to gamble. We're just looking. No. But no, it was amazing. It was.
You know, you mentioned there like you was recording. Is that the album that came out in 2007, or is this different?
Oh, Lord. That album, God love it. It's called Crooked Mile.
Yeah,
for 2 reasons, right? So mostly because it was such a long and winding road to get that album out. So we did record that album then, but we actually ended up re-recording the album 4 times. So what you hear is like the end, like we were all at the end of our tether with it. We were like, just get the flipping thing out, we're sick of it now, because we had member changes. Then along the way we wrote some new songs that we were adamant wanted to go on, and yeah, then we parted company with Sony, so then we re-recorded it again with a new label. We parted company with them, so then it was, so that's why it got called Crooked Mile, because it was more than a crooked mile.
What be a bit of like a sort of issue on a tour bus that with members, like a crash or something?
Yeah, we had a particularly epic crash. So we had, because we were touring, we would tour. If we had 2 days that we weren't gigging, everyone would start arguing, because you've got to remember, me and Alex for the band, and then my dad, we're with a touring company, we all live together as well. So when we're not on the road, we're all at home, we've all got the ump because we want to be on the road, and do you know what I mean? So the tour blues was a real issue growing up, right? So it's like, if we've got nothing for a week, book something. So to save money, we bought our own tour bus, but it was more than a tour bus. She was a band member, right? We bought this really old Winnebago motorhome from the 70s. It was massive and ridiculously huge, but we loved that caravan. It was the best. So a big motorhome, and my dad had built this big metal cage where all the equipment went, and our beds were on top of it. It was great. Helen, we called her. And we were just coming home from a gig that was one junction down the motorway from where we lived at the time. Just 1 o'clock in the morning or something. The gig had been what we'd called the Gremlins. So leads were crackling. I broke a drumstick. My cymbal stand fell over. Little things that just, the gig wasn't smooth. And we were loading in on the van, and we were all going, oh, God, glad that's over. That was a gremlin one. And my dad said, them gremlins are still with us, because we were playing the next day. We were still in the middle of a tour. He went, them gremlins ain't here with us yet. They haven't left us yet. They're still here. Keep an eye. We'll check all the equipment tomorrow before sound check. So yeah, we pulled onto the motorway. We're all sitting in our beds, chit-chatting, music's on, and just bang. And apparently a lorry miles behind hadn't seen us. It turns out he might have been asleep, and didn't slow, and just literally went straight into the back of our caravan. But because she was so old and made mostly from cardboard, we zigzagged and flipped and whatever. But the impact had pushed the interior, so it's a caravan motorhome, the kitchen and all of that had concertinaed in. And the very weird thing was, my dad took the brunt of all of that equipment, where normally where we would have all been in our beds, we would have taken the force at the back, because the beds were at the back. It was all very strange, very karma. But yeah, my poor dad was stuck in there. He had the kitchen on him. There was a gas canister that everyone was panicking was going to blow up. He had fire and brigade to cut him out. And all he kept shouting was, ring the enemy, get Kerrang on the phone. It was before camera phones then, do you know what I mean? And we couldn't have found the video camera in that wreckage. But that's all he kept saying. Film it, get the press on it. And we're like, Dad, right, you're critical to, no, just film it, get it. Bless him. He broke some ribs. Our bass player at the time, Charlie, she broke her collarbone, which apparently I made worse. And I'm laughing, I don't mean it like that, but it's guilt. She'd broken it, we didn't know, but she was the one in the way of the door. So I was going, hurry up, because we're all trying to get out. And I pushed her, and she screamed, and I'd pushed her. Yeah. That's why she left in the end, because she couldn't put a bass on her shoulder to play. Yeah. So she had to leave, bless her. But we're all still friends. We are. It's just a story to tell with no video footage, sadly, for my dad.
Gee. So was it a big like? Did it have a big effect? Obviously, you left not long after for Babyshambles. So did that have any effect on you? Or...
No, so the crash was before Shambles. I can't remember what year that was. 2002, 2003, maybe. Yeah, 2002. I'm gonna guess. That's a guess. Yeah, 2003. So we had about 6 months off the road while we was waiting for Charlie, the bass player, to heal and can she play or not. Me and Alex couldn't wait around, so we got a dep bass player in to do some tours. And then Charlie said she couldn't tour. She could play, but she can't stand with the bass on her shoulder. Sony were jumping up and down. We've got an album we need to tour, we need to release. So we found a bass player, but she came with her sister. So overnight, the Suffragettes turned into a 4-piece. Hence the re-recording again. Yeah. So we re-recorded the album and some of the songs new stuff that we'd written with Sam and Shelley. That was toured for 2 years. I think we were with Sam and Shelley. We were close to release because the sound had changed. We'd grown up and we were a 4-piece now. So Sony were putting the time and effort into new photos, new recording, all the time. And then I started jamming with Shambles in 2004, which is where the Suffragettes, I put them on hiatus, much to their annoyance. I was like, girls, I need to do this, all right? So, yeah, I took a year hiatus with the Suffragettes to be a Shambles member, to join the Shambolics. And, and I got the Suffragettes back together at the end of 2004. So I was running the two bands side by side for a couple of months, yeah.
Jesus.
It was mad.
All the Babyshambles then, that came about through a jam, didn't it then, like you mentioned?
Yeah, I'd known them all for years though. So I say all. So the 3 Shambles members, Peter and the Libertines, were formed at Ruse, our studio. So I knew them well. I'd seen the Libs auditioning, start their gigging and go off and crack it. And Patrick, God love him, was one of our staff members actually. He was playing in bands at Ruse, but he was working on the desk. And the Suffragettes had just done a month's tour or 2-week tour with a big punk band called Elvis. And Drew was the bass player in Elvis. So I was the connection between the 3 members. And yeah, Patrick was jamming with Peter and he did some guitar for him. And he rang me, it was a Sunday night about 2 a.m. and my phone's ringing. It was Patrick. I was like, everything all right? Hello? He's like, Gemma, we want you to come and jam with Peter. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm well up for that. When? He's like, now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm not getting out of bed to come and play drums in London. And he's like, no, you have to. He wants you now. So I remember getting up and going, wake my mum and dad up. I was like, Dad. He's like, what? I said, Pete Doherty and Patrick Walden want me to go play drums. What should I do? He's like, well, go. So I did. I set off at 2 o'clock in the morning and knocked on some dingy doorway in the back end of Bethnal Green. And I had a jam in there with them. And the next morning, we were rehearsing a Ruse again, me and Patrick, so he could teach me the songs properly. And Peter put it on his forum. Do you remember the chat room forum days? He put it out on there. We didn't know. He put out, does anybody want to come to rehearsal, watch my new band? We just knew that my dad's knocking on the rehearsal room door like, there's about 100 people outside. What's going on? Pete's like, oh, let him in. And yeah, we ended up playing. We'd learned about 4 songs, if that. And we played 4 songs 3 times. And that was our first gig. And that was it. It was never a discussion of, do you want to be in the band? It was just, well, we're a band now, are we? We just play gigs. That's what we do. Yeah.
Well, like, as good as the band were and the songs and stuff, it was a shambles like that. It was a shambles on it.
Oh, completely. And I loved that. I really liked it. It was really fun. But then I realised that we were we were actually quite good, and I really enjoyed it, and people liked it. I liked the chaos of, do you know what I mean? We don't really know these songs. We're just gonna turn up and play in a. I mean, we did a gig in a Weatherspoons pub. We were setting up my drums, and there was people eating their dinner over there, and I was like, "You guys are going to want to pack up and leave soon because you have no idea what's about to happen." No, it was a really good time, but about a month in, we were playing with the Perrott brothers, Jamie and Peter, and me and Patrick and Pete Doherty, but they didn't stick with us. So I don't know. I actually don't know what had happened there, but they left, and we were going to stay as a 3-piece. So Patrick on bass and Peter on guitar. But I had a quiet word with Patrick, and I said, Peter's not. He doesn't like the structure of a song, should we say? So he would like take the songs off. When he's got a guitar, we don't know where we're going to go. Like we could, do you know what I mean? We could start at this song and end at that song over there. And I was like, we need someone else. And they didn't want it. Patrick said, no, we'll be good as a 3-piece. It'll be fine. But I had already earmarked Drew because he was my friend. I loved his bass playing, and being a bass player and I'm a drummer, you have to have that click between the two musicians because we have to hold it tight together. And I just said to them one day, I was like, I've got a really good bass player. They were like, oh, go on then. So I just nipped down the corridor. Drew was in rehearsal with his other band. And I said, would you come and have a jam with us? He was like, yeah. And that was it. Again, it never was, do you want to be in the band? It was just, we're playing tomorrow. Do you want to do it? Yeah, cool. We're going on tour. Yeah, cool.
Was it like that all the way through then? Like,
yeah, it was brilliant. I loved it. I loved it. But the first tour, like proper tour we did was September. That was like a 30-day tour. And I really liked that because we'd done, you know, a good few months of these ramshackle, haphazard, chaotic gigs, you know, stage invasions. You know, there was one, the venue, they ripped all the stuff down off the walls and we were oofed out the back doors, and then the gig carried on in the street. We'd done all of that. Do you know what I mean? I felt like we'd exhausted the shambles. And so by the time the proper tour came in September, I think we were so ready for it, and we were good. Do you know what I mean? That era of Shambles. Oh.
People say it was the best lineup. No offense to the others, but people do. It always is, isn't it? The first thing of a band is always the best, isn't it?
Yeah, OG. I do. I agree, though, because I'm a music fan as well. I don't have a massive ego. Of course, I'm biased. I love that era when I was in the band because I have my personal memories all connected to it. But when I listen to the songs that we did and I watch the gigs constantly on YouTube, I do relive that year a lot. And it was we were a good band.
Yeah.
We were. There were a few times that Peter didn't turn up. I was always so against that. I just didn't want that because again, I'm a music fan.
Yeah.
I buy tickets. I support bands. I want people to have the same experience, and I didn't want us to be known as, oh, is Pete going to turn up? Is he going to turn up? And actually, I think on that 30-day tour, he only missed two shows. They were genuine reasons.
Really?
Aberdeen, he did fall down, but yeah, he fell down the stairs. We were about to go on stage and he slipped coming down. The tour bus stairs are quite steep. He slipped and his head caught the front. He was fine, but he was really woozy. And we were all a bit like, with his reputation, no one's going to believe he banged his head. And I don't have that reputation, never done that. I swear on my life, he slipped down them stairs and he had an egg on his head where he hit the wall. It was a band decision. We all said it's not going to go down well. Do you know what I mean? No, you can't have that reputation and go, I'm sorry, I'm a bit woozy because I just banged my head. This is not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. So we took the decision, and that was in Aberdeen, and that didn't go very well. It really didn't go very well. And Blackpool, he fell asleep on stage.
Oh, yeah.
I slapped him for everyone because I didn't know. I hadn't seen him all day. So I don't know what, obviously. what had gone on. But yeah, he was woozy over my drum. Oh, Gemma. I was like, what do you want me to do? I'm drumming. I was playing. What do you want me to do? He was like, wake me up. So I was like, oh, I know. I dropped a stick, doshed him one. It didn't work, and I left.
You know, like you mentioned his reputation there, and you mentioned you knew the Liberty, so I'm sure you knew all about
Of course, yeah.
everything, and it's well documented. Was that a lot different to? I know obviously the suffragettes would have been. I don't know about the drug use and stuff, but I mean,
Oh.
a different, totally different world with a Babyshambles.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The suffragettes, and even to this day, I smoke cigarettes because I think I'm well hard, right? And now I'm too far down the line to realise that I'm not well hard. I'm just addicted. But I don't take drugs. I'm not hardly even a drinker. Like, that's not for me. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in music. I saw many casualties of that lifestyle as when I was young. And my dad always made sure to explain what I'm seeing. Do you know what I mean? Without encouraging it. He never hid it from me. You know, this person is doing this and that person's doing that. And this is what's going to happen if you do that, or can happen. And I never got involved in any of it. Neither did the suffragettes. Like I said, we were in our late teens. Do you know what I mean? That would have been prime time to become drinking and partying all the time, but we didn't. We're not. To this day, I know Alex doesn't drink. I very rarely drink. I like it; it's fun, but I can't. No, I drive all the time, and I can't play if I've had a drink. It's ridiculous. And the drugs, absolutely not. Nowhere near us. So yeah, I was 20 when I said to my dad, Daddy, I'm going on tour with these really notorious rock star drug addicts. He was like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah, I am, Daddy. Like, I'm a parent now, and I cannot imagine what he went through with that. And off I went in the back of a van. We had no seats in the van. It was just, do you know what I mean? Just all of the everyone in the back sitting on guitars and drumsticks in your head. You know, an amp over here. Hold the amp. And yeah, it was chaos. But I was all right. I never got involved in it. I stayed away from it all, even on a tour bus. Do you know what I mean? I would get up, look at each city we were in. I would spend a lot of time on my own because they were all asleep. Yeah, I would always, every city we woke up in or town, I would go and have breakfast or lunch and have a look around. I always did the load-in and the sound checks, mostly on my own. And then the first time I'd see the band would be when they walk on stage for the gig.
Really?
Yeah. It was fine, like, because I know they're up all night doing whatever they do, having a party. I never got involved in that either. I wasn't very good. I'm tired. By midnight, I've played a gig. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Was it chaos then all the time on the road then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was, yeah. But it was happy chaos.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I knew what was happening, but I see, look, I'm not very judgmental, if that's the right word. I knew that that's what they were doing before I even joined the band. That's what they did. I never judged anybody, and still don't, for what they do in their time. And my rules of that is I won't judge, just don't harm anyone and don't involve me. And the only time I did get the ump about it was if it involved me. So if, you know, Peter didn't turn up, or, you know, we played a real dodgy show because of, you know, somebody wasn't on the ball, then I would have something to say. But other than that, I just sort of, it was happy chaos. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this is the way you do things. It's not the way the suffragettes did things, but it's not that it's good or bad. It's just different. Yeah. And I slotted in and went along. I was fine. And on the tour bus, I made friends with all the crew, and even the bus driver. Dino will forever be my friend. And we were called the downstairs crew. They would have the big party going on upstairs all night, and we would, you know, drink tea. And I had one DVD. We actually had two, I'm lying. We had Finding Nemo. Fucking love that film. And Motley Crue Greatest Hits.
Have you watched the Dirt film?
Oh, have I?
Then that's a crazy, isn't it? Like there's
Motley Crue are they are like my heart band. I love them. I love that chaos, but I just couldn't live it myself. I'm a bystander.
You were on the Killamangiro single. What was it
Yes.
like recording that?
That as that is a personal record and will always be a benchmark in my drumming career, because we worked with Paul Epworth, and he is up there now as one of the most successful and epic producers. But at the time he'd done a few big names and he was on his way up, but he just got us.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty malleable. I can get on with most people. We were only recording 2 tracks, so I can't really dislike somebody or not get on with a producer for 2 tracks. Like, it's just 2 tracks. But Peter, obviously, he walks his own path, do we say? And you need to harness his creativity at the right time and in the right way. And Paul just got it. So he managed to get, I still believe, as a Pete Doherty, Liberty and Shambles fan, as well as a previous member, that vocal track on Killamangiro is one of Peter's best. Like, I can remember sitting in the control room, hearing him put that track down, thinking, this is it. Like, that you best be recording, because this is really good. It was great. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. It's in Man Who Came to Stay, because we did that as well.
Yeah.
And he says something about the kitchen's a mess and the garden's undressed. And that's because the kitchen was a damn mess. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. But the garden was the back of the studio balcony opened onto this graveyard that we had spent hours running around just being idiots. So we were like trying to, not, that sounds really disrespectful. It wasn't. We wasn't doing that. We were we were making up stories of the names of the people, and Peter was doing voices to what we would imagine each person would sound like, and we had a lovely time, in the downtime from recording. But that's where that line came from, was the kitchen's a mess and the garden's undressed, because it was a cemetery. And it's not particularly dressed, is it?
What was it like? How would the songs go about? Would he come in with the lyrics and he'd jam around them?
Yeah, he and Patrick did a lot of the writing together. And the lyrics would normally just happen when we were playing. It wasn't like he'd, sat at home and written it down, or he'd come in with a guitar part and with lyrics and show Patrick. But they did it quite quickly together. Do you know what I mean? Although Man Who Came to Stay used to be a halftime, like a sarcastic metal riff that me and Patrick used to jam in sound checks just because we were messing about. But I'm not going to try and sing it or hum it, because that's not my job. but what I can do is it's a double time beat. So if you ever listen to it again, half it's like stompy. And then that's where Man Who Came to Stay came from, was that silly riff that we used to mess around. And also Fuck Forever came out that way as well. So am I allowed to?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay. Fuck Forever. That started one day. I'd pick Patrick up because he lived on my way into the studio. I picked him up, and he was still messing about, putting his shoes on or whatever. So we were sitting in his room, and he was like, "Oh, I've got this wicked riff," and it was the riff of Fuck Forever. And I was to the beat on my knees. I was like, "Oh, this is great," because I used to play that beat for a Suffragette song years ago, and I thought I was really cool because I could do a backbeat. And that's how Fuck Forever started, was just a riff of me and Patrick in his flat. Other than that, it was all the other boys, the two of them sitting together.
So, like, you mentioned you sometimes watch the gigs. That Manchester gig's still on YouTube. and most of the debut songs are on there. So they had a lot of that before they went into the studio to recorded, didn't they?
That DVD, back in the day, I remember that when that was released, right? Again, showing my age and my music fanness. But remember HMV?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so when that DVD was released, it had the HMV in the town near me had a full window-sized poster of it, and I was driving past, and I was like, all my friends were texting me, Gemma, the Babyshambles videos, like DVD is on the wall of HMV, and I was so excited. I remember going into the shop and like hanging around the shelves where the DVD was in case anyone recognised it. They didn't, but I'm like, oh, do you want to buy this DVD? Such an idiot.
You played like Top of the Pops and stuff like that, though, didn't you?
Yeah, oh mate. Wow. Yeah, we did Top of the Box and CD UK. Do you remember that?
That's before my time, I think.
CD UK was a Saturday morning, like Top of the Pops, but Saturday morning. And I loved both. Yeah, we did both. Top of the Pops, just epicness. Like, what? Me? Top of the Pops? Stop. Stop it.
Wait, was it how you expected it to be, that kind of side of it?
No, complete opposite.
Quite.
Yeah. So actually, Top of the Pops, the stage is what confused me the most because it's like a pyramid, like a triangle, and all the drummers are at the top back to back, which is weird because I don't think that when you see, maybe there was just the stage we were on, but I was back to back with, do you remember Rooster?
No, no.
Where there was a pop band like Hanson, that kind of like
Oh, yeah.
kid. And I was back to back with their drummer, and my kit looked really basic. And I remember going, his kit looks well good. Like, I was like, all right, mate. He was like, I was like, oh, your kit's really nice. Do you want to see my kit? Look at my drum kit. No, he didn't want to talk to me about kits. We did a sound check, live vocals, everything else was mimed. But again, I didn't know that. So I didn't have, you get these like pads that dull your drums. I didn't have those. So I was sort of air drumming. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, then there was an altercation, to be saying, with somebody in the crowd and Peter. It was heckling him. And yeah, an altercation happened, and that we were told we weren't allowed to go on the live show. Excuse me. So what you do see is our sound check.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. If you watch carefully, right at the beginning, Drew and Patrick are having a chat. Like the music's coming out of the speakers, and they're like, "What? Oh, God, we've got to play." Do you know what I mean? I'm grinning at the cameraman. All right. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's only inside stuff, you'd know that. And
Yeah,
CWK was the same. It was a really small crowd that they moved them around the stage. And Peter did a stage dive, and they were like young teenage girls who didn't know who he was. They parted, and he just hit the deck. I thought that was hilarious. I laughed so much.
He's quite clumsy, isn't he?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's like Bambi. He's all gangly and tall. Yeah.
You did the Zane Lowe show as well, yeah.
Right. Yeah, we did. Made a Veil. Yes.
That was Fuck Forever, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did. Now, so those tracks are on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Clementine, Fuck Forever, Do You Know Me? And I don't remember the other one.
I can't remember the other one.
Probably Killamangiro because it was our single, but I don't know that for sure. But I think those are some of our best recordings as well. So I loved Clementine's one of my favourites. I love that track. And that was great. Yeah, that was Made a Veil with Zane Lowe. Yeah.
You enjoy all that then, like the TV shows and the radio appearances and stuff?
Yeah, I have a cupboard up there, and it's got my DVDs. I've got magazine covers, I kept everything. My mum has like scrapbooks and boxes of everything we've done. Everything I've done with all my bands is up there.
You know, like with Top of the Pops, obviously it's different back then. You don't have like recording it and everything you can do now and catch up and stuff. Did you watch it back when it was on?
Yeah, do you know, where was we? No, because we were from we was on tour.
All
Yeah,
right.
so we played. Excuse me. We did Top of the Pops on the Friday night. Yeah, because it went out live. We couldn't have watched it. So
All right, yeah.
what you see now on YouTube and what went on the telly was our rehearsal, the sound check. But most people, I guess, go out live. But yeah, so that was the Friday night, and we went straight off. We were playing Belfast the next day because I remember getting a ferry that night over
Wow.
to Ireland, and then yeah, we had like a 10-day tour. That was the first date of it. I just lived that whole era on YouTube. Everything that I can find is on YouTube. But I did find all these little mini video camera tapes. So I lived my life from Sony and the Suffragettes. They gave us a video camera each. State of the art, I will add. Tiny little things. But I lived with it constantly. I just filmed everything. And I kept that going when I was in Shambles. And over the years, I don't know where I put the tapes. But when I moved a few years ago, I found these bags and bags and bags of little videotapes. It's taken me a long time to find somebody that's got a machine that I can watch it on because I don't have all the leads for the camera and the camera doesn't work and blah, 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 blah. But my friend has this machine thing that means I can watch it. So we're actually still in the process of, he's putting the tapes onto a hard drive. I'm not very technical, so I'm probably saying the wrong words. But he's putting all the tapes onto a hard drive. So, because I've got so many gigs through that whole year on camera. There was a riot. Do you remember the Astoria riot?
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got all of that on footage, on camera, on
Really?
tape. I've got all us recording with Paul Epworth. I've got recording at Metropolis I've got everything on camera. All of us in the tour bus being idiots, sound checks. I've got it all. Like you could make a full-on movie of that whole year of Shambles, and I do hope to do something with it. Like I want to, even if I just sit with the boys and watch it. But Patrick's not with us anymore, so I thought I might get my friend who's a filmmaker to try and make like a Patrick video of memories. I don't know, but I've got loads.
That's
Loads of
class. That. I'd love to watch something like that. You'd have to, yeah, bring it out as a film or something, yeah.
Yeah, like, but I would only do it with the band. Well, now it's only Drew and Peter, but I wouldn't, like set it
Yeah.
on. That's not for me. That's not my style. I like nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't look in the past. I know, blah blah, move on, blah blah. I don't. I had a great time, and that I've got all the footage on tape. So I'd like to put it all together and sit in a massive cinema with loads of popcorn with the two boys that are left and watch it. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to do that. That would be cool.
It seems like that was the last good time, really, wasn't it? That early. Like, I was born 2001, so I missed out a little bit, do you know what I mean? But that 2000s was the last great time on it.
It was epic. 2001. Maybe I should hide my face. Stop it, Gemma. Shambles, my year was
Yeah.
2004.
That's what I
Mad,
mean.
isn't it?
That's the last, like, when music was mainstream, do you know what I mean? And you had that underground indie sound. Now it's all manufactured, what's in the charts and stuff.
Yeah. Nowadays, you don't really find many bands that start grassroots and make it through. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
either have this constant reuniting of big bands. Do you know what I mean? They're all coming back again. They're all coming back. Or I'm still in grassroots bands. There is a massive underground scene. Massive.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest I've seen it since that kind of era. But we're still waiting for someone to break through and actually. I mean, I think Wolf Alice most recently. I think maybe that's
There's
it.
not a lot of things like when you think it's all like
No.
pop, like you Dua Lipas or you, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's just really like manufactured, like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Pop stuff.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it?
Yeah, I mean, Shambles, we were, Peter was a household name by that point anyway, but
Yeah,
our first single, by all intents and purposes, went straight into the top 10. Two of a brand new band. We were a few months old. We released Killamangiro and we were on top of the pops. Top 10. Mental, isn't it?
yeah,
But see, you wouldn't have that now without it being manufactured or rammed in your face constantly that you're going to
yeah.
like this, you'll like this.
Like that, what Pete did with what you mentioned before with the online like forum thing. You don't see anything like that anymore. It's all online, but
Yeah.
inviting fans, and it was like a community back then, wasn't it?
That's the difference. Now it's because it's socials, everybody is accessible all of the
Yeah,
time. But then there's none of that gang feeling, like at the forum, you had to be on that forum to be at that gig, to
yeah,
to know all these things and to talk to him. I mean, he used to use that forum when he was in prison, I think. Like that's mad. You wouldn't get that now because you post something on your Instagram and the world can see it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think there was that definitely a different community vibe. But like I say, I'm still grassroots as well. Grassroots forever, mate. I swear. But there's such a thriving family. It's a family down here. Do you know what I mean? It's great. I think it's the best times down here. Do you know what I
yeah. No, yeah, like you say, he's still in bands now. We'll get onto that soon. But with Pete as well, they're like he was the biggest rock star at that time, and he's got that community where he's the big stars now. Like you say, he can put it on social media, but they're still closed off as well, aren't they? It's
Yeah,
not like you say, it's
yeah.
not a community now.
Well, Pete would do gigs for us in our rehearsal room. Like I said, that first one, the band didn't even know. We were just like, "There's 100 people queuing around the block outside. What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, just let them in." What? We can't even play one song to the end. That'll be all right. We just rehearse. They want to see it. Okay. Do you know what I mean? That first 6 months of gigs were in. I told you, Weatherspoons, a social club, just whatever.
Yeah,
And he was always in the street afterwards. People could get to him and talk to him and jam with him. There's a lot less of that in any band really now, isn't there?
yeah.
And if there is, it's like there's security everywhere keeping people away. Social media posts, it is different. It is, and I don't know if it's better or worse. It's just very different.
There's all that uniqueness as well, like you say, just playing in a Weatherspoons. That's unheard of now. It's like it's all like
That was hilarious. It was a family, mum, dad, and two kids eating their blooming spaghetti bolognese. And I'm thinking, you're going to want to go home like in about 20 minutes, love, because this is going to be completely different. And it was.
You mentioned that Astoria gig. What was that last tour like? Was it hard work?
um, that was the Blackpool show, I think, on that tour. I think it
What,
was the one where he turned up, but he fell asleep on stage.
yeah.
It started incredibly because I said we did Top of the Pops,
Mm.
and we had the big bus waiting for us outside, and we'd just recorded with Paul Epworth. Everything was exciting, and they were preparing. We were going in to record the album in February. It was everything was good, and that tour was a lot bigger venues. Yes, it was our first time in Ireland. My first time. Well, I toured Ireland with the Suffragettes, but first time with Shambles. Um, it seems that a lot of touring bands seem to forget Ireland sometimes. So, like, there's a good turnout for bands over there. I was super excited. And yeah, so the Astoria was our Christmas party. That's what we called it, Babyshambles Christmas party, like wrapping up the year. We'd all chosen bands to support that we liked. I was so excited about that show. And we'd been home from London one day. There had been a bit of hang on, bickering. There was some bickering on the tour.
What
Few of the
between the
nights
fans?
before. No, no, no. The manager and some of the band, some of the crew. It was just a bit messy.
Shambles.
Yeah, yeah. The shambles, a circus. How about that? It was a bit of a circus. Nothing with the four band members. I always made sure that it didn't matter what was going on outside, but if us four were cool, we were tight. Everybody's slept, eaten. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's compass mentis. Those three boys were all I worried about, really.
Mm.
But yeah, it got a little fractious. We had one day off in London at home, and then it was the Astoria show. Yeah, and so I turned up for sound check as per with the crew, the equipment. Patrick and Drew turned up a bit later. They didn't. I think Patrick did. I think both boys did actually sound check that day. Can't quote me on that, but I feel like they did. And we were just as per, it's fine, no stress, but waiting for Peter. We were watching all the support bands. Some brilliant bands played that night. Sell out, all the DJs, all the press. My family were in the balcony. It was just brilliant. I was so proud. And yeah, I remember being called to say, Peter's we need to go on stage in the next hour. Otherwise, there's no time. Like, we're going to end up having to cut the set short because of the curfew. And I think that they cut us off at about 12:30 because the music they had to be shut at 2 and music done by 1. So I think 12 o'clock or 12:30 was final curfew. We didn't know where Peter was. Nobody could get in touch with him. There was a few rumours because we'd sent a few friends off in taxis to go look at certain places and homes and whatever. But we couldn't find him, so we had to cancel. And I can just remember being backstage with AD, our tour manager, Matt, the agent, and Patrick and Drew, and I was begging them. Again, they think I'm crazy, but I had a point. But I was like, please let me go out on the stage. You two come with me so they can see the three of us there, but I will speak. I never speak on the microphone. As you can see, I like to talk. But I said, let me have the microphone and I will explain to everybody. I had the kid sister kind of vibe with the fans and the band. So it was kicking off down there. People were annoyed and it was all getting a bit annoyance, but nothing major was going on. But I said, so let me go out there and they can see the three of us are here. And if I explain, we actually don't know where he is. Like, you can't berate the band. It's not that we haven't just not turned up. We're here and we genuinely are speaking to as human beings. We don't know where he is. They wouldn't let me do that. Nobody went out on the stage and said anything. All they did was they just put the lights up, turned the music off, and security stood on the stage in a big line, started telling everybody to go home. Well, to me, you can't really blame people for getting the because they weren't told anything.
Yeah.
Why isn't the band playing? Where are the band? Because the kit was everything was set up on stage. Do you know what I mean? Forever, I wished that I'd have been allowed to be genuinely honest. And at that point, we didn't know where he was. But it all kicked off then. I think there was like £20,000 worth of damage that went on.
God,
and I
knackered, didn't they?
Yeah, everything. They smashed up everything. I mean, the drum kit was in pieces. I remember watching my floor tom on somebody's shoulders bouncing off through the crowd. I was like, oh God, it was quite dramatic backstage. People were gone over the stage and into the upstairs, into the back dressing room corridors, and were looking for the band. They were all shouting, where's the band? Shambles, blah, blah, blah. And my dad had shoved me in a cupboard. He's like, stay in there, because if they see you, there's too many people up here. They're too angry. And I got eventually a coat over my head and like headlock dragged down the stairs and thrown in the back of a car. It was chaos. It was. And people were very upset and very angry, and a lot of damage was done. I think my snare drum has never been recovered. My bass drum is like this shape now. It's supposed to be a lovely circle, but it's like a little diamond shape. It was stamped on. I still have the footprints on the bass drum skin where people were jumping on it. look, but I still don't blame anybody. I mean, he shouldn't have got that angry, but I mean, there was someone in the crowd, Fergie, God love him. He'd come down from Glasgow. Do you know what I mean? I'm standing up here going, I'm really sorry.
As a fan, it adds to like the rock and roll mystery, but then again, people have paid money, haven't they? And travel
Yeah,
and everything. You know what I mean? Like babysitters or whatever. Like,
I know. And not even, they want to see the band. They
yeah,
want to see it. And like, we wouldn't have been able to have been on that stage if it wasn't for those people. So it's a partnership, I think, an artist and the fans. It's a partnership because you can't be one without the other. You know, what came first, the rock star or the roadie? What came first, the rock star or the fan? Because do you know what I mean? That's what I've just always seen it that way because I
yeah,
am a fan of music as well as equal as I am a musician. I champion and support all sorts of artists. I just think it's the world should be like that. That's what I think.
yeah. No,
World
it's
peace.
nice. You ever find out where he was?
Sorry.
Did you ever find out where Pete was?
Yeah, yeah. He was in a flat with the manager, and that's as much as I'm going to say.
Well, I can imagine. But was that the beginning of the end for you then? Not
Yeah,
the end.
yeah. There was a lot of, like I said, there was friction on that last tour, and a certain few things that were a little bit scary for me, rather than just being like, oh, that's what they're doing. It just got because we were, to me, we'd gone up a level. We were a serious band now. Like, we're really good, guys. We are a really good band, and we've just got a single that's just gone in the top 10. We've just completed a 30-day tour. We're about to record an album. This is so exciting. To me, I would shake off all of the excess circus, if you see what I mean. There will always be a circus, especially with a band like Shambles. But I don't know. I felt distanced because I could see the potential that we had, and I felt like I was the only one that could see it. And then that riot, it wasn't particularly that gig. It was more what I'd seen over that last tour. It just changed. Peter was also going out with Kate Moss and had started to become a little bit tabloid fodder. Do you know what I mean? They were all over him, everything he's doing. It just made me a little nervous of maybe being tarnished with that brush. And that sounds really horrid. Maybe that's not the right phrase. I was a bit nervous for the future of, do you know what I mean? It'd gone up a level. There was a lot of friction, different magnifying glasses from the press on the band. So we had a nice Christmas break, and we started meeting up again in January to talk about our set list for the tour, for the album, and pre-production, and where we're going to do it, which tracks we want to do. Those were some of the loveliest times. Like, we'd just go around Pete's flat, and we'd get takeaway and like all sit with an acoustic guitar and write down, you know, oh, well, let's do this song on the album, and what would the album run like. It was a really nice couple of weeks we had, but it was just like the final straw, really. I just didn't feel comfortable, and I talked to them about it. I said, this the machine is pushing you, Peter, the band, but you, in a direction that I don't feel comfortable being part of it. I don't want to keep milking him and pushing him, and do you know what I mean? I wanted to focus on the band, the music, and it was kind of agreement that I was going to go. Patrick never really forgave me. He was really angry that I'd left. He was.
Do you regret not staying for the album?
Yes, because I'd put all the work in
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that year and a bit, or what year, whatever, touring, becoming the band, making those songs as they were. But I still stand by my reason for leaving. Because I love those boys like my brothers, and I felt like I couldn't control the machinery on him. I say him being Peter, but Patrick as well, Andrew, but those two. Drug addiction to me is a disease, and those people need to be looked after. You can't just. Do you know what I mean? I don't. I see it as a health issue.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt like I was the only one that saw that.
Do you think the management was using that rock and roll thing then, like with the press and stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think I didn't. I felt really protective. You know, the press would put a photo of him with his eyes like this. You know, Junkie Pete. You see that phrase in the newspapers all the time, Junkie Pete and Kate Moss. I'm like, anybody in the planet takes that photo mid blink.
Yeah.
You know, that photo, he wasn't actually out of his head, because I was on stage with him. I'd been with him all day. He was not out of it. But because he's Peter and now he's going out with Kate Moss and the band's gone up a level, that's the reason that the press can all jump on him. And I just, like I said, I felt really protective. I thought maybe somebody else would see that he needs looking after, nurture.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than attacking him. I don't know.
It's like,
do you see what I mean? It's trying to. I didn't want to be there in the band to keep playing and turning up to all these things when I felt like he needed some help. I don't mean rehab. I just, you know, maybe let's not gig every single day. Maybe let's check who is coming in. Let's try and stop dodgy photos going out with lie stories made up about him. I don't know what I wanted, but, you know, 20 years later, that's just me now trying to explain the thoughts in my brain.
It's like, well, the same thing happened with Amy Winehouse, didn't it? And we see where that went for her. Yeah,
and it worries me. I do. Not so much now because he's doing great, but yeah, I went to see. I was at Glastonbury, sorry, that year, 2005. And I went to see them because the Babyshambles were playing. And I sort of snuck in a bit at the back to watch. And it really upset me because I was like, oh, so you're just moving on like that? You know, I was like the scorned ex. I was really upset. It was my decision and I always stood by it. But it didn't take away that sting of watching them carry on. And then they recorded the album, and I've actually been to see them quite a few times. It will never be the same because the chemistry of the members always naturally changes it.
Yeah.
And then when Patrick left, it was a whole different band to me then, because, you know, Patrick was OG with me. Do you know what I mean? So the band went through like 3 different, you know, changes, really, didn't they? So it was the original, then Adam taking over, and then Mick taking over. So yeah, 3 different lineups, really. It's a different band, and the recordings and the songs, it's all different. It would be, and I would expect it to be.
Yeah. So you obviously leave just before the debut album. Did you ever listen back to them then? I know you said you saw it last week. Would you ever listen to them, or was that it then? Yeah,
do you know, it was really difficult. And like to this day, I can hear within 2 seconds the beginning of Killamangiro if it's my one or not. You know, like, is it the album version or is it mine? No, that's not mine.
Your drums are more like centre of it. They make that intro,
aren't they? Yes. No, it was because it was a different person playing them with a different feel, different vibe, different studio, different producer. You know, I got to work with Wentworth. That will never be taken away from me. That was incredible to record that. And he really worked hard with me on those intro drums. We must have done that, you know, the dung 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 at the beginning. We must have done that for about 20 minutes. He was like, come on, hit him. I was like, okay. He's like, you've got more. Come on, do it. So, yeah, I have a pride and I can tell 2 beats in if that's mine or Adam's.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? I do listen to it. I have listened to it. But some of the tracks that we used to play are on the album.
Mm.
And it will never feel comfortable because it's not my baby. You know, I don't say that it's not good. It's just it's not my baby. You know,
No, it
that's the
must be
difference.
hard. Yeah, like you say, you were part of them songs, weren't you,
Yeah,
before doing stuff? So
yeah. We wrote them. We bashed them around in the studio. We sorted the structures out, and then we gigged the hell out of them. None of those songs that we ever played were only played once or twice. Like we were almost constantly playing those songs. Most of what I think the first album, most. But then they had an EP, Delivery, Blinding.
yeah,
Blinding.
yeah,
Something. Yeah, those were brand new. I'd never heard those. I was like, what? What are you doing? Oh, I never heard those. But, you know, we move, don't we? People move
yeah.
on and bands do. And I still championed because they're my boys. Do you know what I mean? They can do no wrong to me.
Exactly like you were a close group, but when you left and Pete was obviously, like you say, was still in the tabloids, it got a bit like a circus, really, like you were expecting. Was that
Yeah.
hard still reading about him in the papers and stuff?
Yeah, hugely, hugely. I used to reach out constantly to try and talk to them. Peter's never really had a phone, and if he did, it was hardly ever on or near him. But I always managed to stay in touch with Patrick from day one, even before the band. We talked regularly, and Drew and I would chat sometimes. I obviously understand it might have been a bit awkward. And I said Patrick really was not impressed when I left the band. He really, really, really told me off.
Did you
Doing
tell them
so.
then, or did they just see that statement you put out?
I didn't tell them I'm going to leave. No, I didn't. Because I wasn't really decided until that very moment where I was decided.
Really?
Um, yeah, I feel like I tried to bring up the subject about my unhappiness. And if I don't feel happy and it doesn't change, then I'm going to have to leave. I did say that a few times, but like couple of months before that, at that point, I couldn't get a message through to Peter. And Patrick was really annoyed that I may even be considering that. I'm laughing because he's not here anymore and he can't. I'm remembering how annoyed he was with me. But I couldn't get the message to them. And I knew that the recording was booked for only a week or two away and I didn't want to leave them in the lurch. But I also didn't want to record the album and then leave. Do you know what I mean? That was what it was, as I figured that I should go and let the replacement drummer, whoever they choose, if they choose, to have that album. Rightly, wrongly, selfishly, unselfishly, I don't know, but that was my decider. I thought, well, I'm going to go before we record the album because whoever plays drums, they've got that album. I will always have the beginning and that amazing year and that single that went so big. It was the first one that was mine to keep. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of, in a way, that's how I sorted it out in my head. I was only 21, you have to remember. I was still so young. You know, I was guided. I had a lot of help and support around me, but essentially everything was my decision. So I had to, there was a lot to deal with at that
Yeah.
age. And that's kind of how I rationalized it. I've got that year. I've worked with Wentworth. I've done the massive tour. I've got the respect. I've got the love. And I'm going to give the album to somebody else because I would have stayed and done the album not feeling 100% comfortable, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to do my best then, and then the songs are not going to, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my energy was off, so I didn't want to put that on record forever and potentially them boys not do their best as well. Does that
Well,
make sense?
yeah. It's fair play for leaving for what you believed in and like standing up for yourself as well, really.
Yeah.
You were like the mother of the band, not in like but you were in the group dynamic. You were like The mother.
Yeah, I think I was. I did swing between that and annoying little sister, though. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like banging on the bedroom doors, like in the hotel rooms, like, "Come on, we've got a sound check." Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But the rest of the time, I'm like, "Oh, have you eaten? Have you slept? PT, you need to go and wash your hair." You know, like, I used to do his eyeliner. Sometimes he like makeup on and brush his hair, and then Patrick would always go, "You know, do you like this T-shirt, Gem?" And I used to go, "It looks really nice, Pat, but it will be on for all of maybe 30 seconds. You will start sweating and take it off. So it doesn't really matter. Walk out in your pants and be done with it." Do you know what I mean? It was a nice vibe. I do. I am quite nurturing. I am. I did look after them.
You mentioned before, sadly, Patrick's not here anymore. What are some of your favourite memories of him, though, before we move on from Babyshambles?
I couldn't. There's so many. All right. For the beginning of time, so I met Pat when I was, 14 maybe. He used to do this really amazing impression of a chimpanzee. He'd get like his arms, and he's all gangly, and he used to do that. I can't do it. Look at me trying, make an idiot of myself. But he used to do it amazing, and he would always manage to time, even just at the most awkward times, to make me laugh. But I would always get my own back. So Wolfman, the song that it was my song because I love that song. There was no structure. We had to go verse, chorus, do what you want. And that always meant that I would never, ever stop. And that Manchester gig is a perfect example of that song, because Peter's finished. He just thanks everyone, puts his coat back on, and then leaves. And Patrick and Drew come up to my riser, like, I remember going, "Stop, Gemma, stop, we've had enough." And I was like, "No." You can see me laughing and shaking my head. No. Because I knew if I just held it, Patrick has to do his whittling and like guitar solos. And I loved it when he did that. So I used to always do that. And like Wolfman, sometimes he'd turn around and go, "Not long tonight, Gemma." It's gonna be like, I've got the control in this song. No, I've got a lot of love for that boy. There was a shock, massive shock.
Yeah.
But we're lucky that I feel lucky that I knew him and knew him on that level, and his legacy in his guitaring, because he's an absolute genius with the guitar. It's out there forever. I'm proud that I knew him. He's a good lad.
Yeah, nice. What do you think of the reunion? Have you got any thoughts on that?
I have thoughts. I have I have thoughts. I have thoughts. I can't really talk about it at the moment. I've got yeah. There's some blanks to fill. So come back to me in a couple of weeks.
That's interesting. I don't even know what to make of that. I don't know what that could be.
I don't know what to say. It's best left there. I can't say.
Everybody will be wondering now.
I know, sorry. I can't yet. I can't yet. I'll make some calls later and try and push it along so I can say something. But I don't know what to say yet. But yes, there is a reunion.
When you do say something, will it be on like Instagram or whatever?
How about I'll message you?
All right, yeah. Thank you then, yeah.
I'll let you know. But I did start this ball rolling the latter part of 2023, because the turn of 2024 would be 20 years since Babyshambles started.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I'd found all this tape footage, I was like, oh my God, let's make a film and let's tour it and let's all be back together and all be, shambles of 20 years ago, but now we're 20 years older and more experienced and wiser. Let's do this. But the Libertines had just reunited and had done their anniversary tours, and they were so busy. Yeah, I spent most of last year nagging the hell out of everybody. I really did, because it was 2024. It's 20 years since the sand timer turned. 1st of January, bosh.
Yeah,
We've got 365 days to do this. Otherwise, it's gone, and it went.
Do you think you had a role in the reunion then?
Sorry.
You think you had a bit of a role in this reunion then?
Yeah, I started the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I started the whole thing because, like I said, I live on YouTube. I love that era, and it's hard to believe sometimes. I'm out in the rain mucking horses out all day long, and then I'm cooking dinner and washing socks and making packed lunches for school. It's hard to remember that 20 years ago I was a rock star. All right. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't in my wellies and making packed lunches at the school gates. And my kids, they laugh when I say, Mummy used to be a rock star, guys. And they're like,
You
oh,
showed me old stuff, and they're still too young.
yeah, oh yeah. But mine, they both know it. I've got 2 girls, so my youngest is a punk. Watch out, world, right? She is the hardest child I've ever heard of to parent, I swear, right? Any parent out there smashing it, have an hour with my daughter. She is going to take over the world, right? She is incredible, shines. And my eldest is equally as incredible. She's just quieter. She's very quiet.
I think that's all you say like, with a
silent assassin.
Yeah,
together. But yeah, they know all about my bands. They know. My eldest is a bit more eye-rolly now. She's like, oh, Mum. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, look, let's watch Mummy again. My youngest is like, Mummy, look, whoa, Mummy. My eldest is like, oh, if you're not on TikTok, it's not even worth bothering, She's of that age. But no, I do love it. And I watch it constantly on there. So I want to be able to see all these tapes that I have up there for the fans to watch. We talk about these things. It was before the days of mobile phones in everybody's hands, so it happened. It existed. I want to share it, but yeah, we shall see. Like I said, there's more time between the tour dates and now, so
keep an eye out. Yeah. But after Babyshambles, you went back with the Suffragettes. You mentioned you left them to start Babyshambles. Well, start with Babyshambles. When you went back, was your relationship the same?
No.
You not?
No. No, I'd made a lot. There was a lot of people interested in what I'm going to do. Our first run of gigs and releases were like highly anticipated. Gemma for Babyshambles, what's she going to do? But the Suffragettes had a different sound to Babyshambles, so a lot of those first time listeners didn't listen again. we found some new fans, do you know what I mean, a new market, but essentially the Suffragettes just rolled on doing our thing. We had another lineup change. We got 2 new girls in, and Alex and I, by that point, by the time the end of the Suffragettes came, we'd done that for 12 years together. And she said, I need to go off and do my own thing. I considered carrying the Suffragettes on for about 5 seconds because it had always just been me and her. The Suffragettes was Alex and Gemma, and that was it. No bones about it. So I put the Suffragettes and everything we'd done on the shelf and started a new band. We got 2 boys in, me and Claire from the Suffragettes. We got 2 boys because I didn't want to get any more girls and try and do another girl band. And we were called the Krak. And it was exactly that.
Did you play the gorilla thing? What do you call it? Like an enclosure?
Yeah. Do you know what? The Krak. I was listening to watching us the other day, talking about it. Because I'd come from the Suffragettes with Sony, Babyshambles, an already established name. When I put the Krak together, I didn't want to write songs in a specific genre for people, a specific place. We just wanted to make music and have fun. And that's all we did. We would have, one song that would be like a ska song. We've got one song called the kazoo song, those weird kazoo things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our best song. We just had fun, and therefore we were never really accepted into mainstream radio. Radio just couldn't get us. They were like, I don't know, we can't put you on an indie show. I can't put you on a rock show. I can't put you on a pop show. You know, magazines were all a bit like, what is Gemma doing now? Like, ugh. But so consequently, we couldn't get gigs. So we just got our own gigs, and we went down the guerrilla gig. So we played in a clothing shop. We fed the pigeons at Trafalgar Square. You know, it's illegal.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to feed the pigeons now.
Oh.
So we saw an angle and we went to the press like, oh, we're going to feed the pigeons and whatever. And we turned up in our bus and there was all security there and press. And we did a circle around in our bus and waited till security got to like, I don't know, here. And we drove really fast to the other side, jumped out, we quick, 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 feed the pigeons, go, go, go. Chaos, always in. The Orient Express we played on. You know the Millennium Bridge, the
Yeah,
new footbridge. We opened that. We played on that, and then the gorilla enclosure. It was a brand new gorilla enclosure at London Zoo, and because we were playing gorilla gigs, we asked them if they wanted a band to play a gorilla gig at the gorilla enclosure. Honestly, we were up. We would play anything. We did the last London bus, I can't remember the full story, but there was a red double-decker bus coming out of service in London, and it had been bought by someone in Norfolk, and they were driving it home on its last journey from London. So we said, we'll play that, and we filled it up with all our mates. Everyone got London bus T-shirts. We got loads of drink on the bus, so everyone was partying, driving to Norfolk. Honestly, name a random show, we played it.
I love hearing stories like that. It's class.
It was a fun band, you know, like they hence the name, the Krak. We were having the biggest crack of our lives. It was so much fun. It really was.
So,
God.
did you play Glastonbury as well?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did 2 nights. We were offered a Thursday, so the first day opening the left field stage, which is like one of the biggest tents, and they gave us an hour and a half. So we were like, let's not bore people. So again, grassroots. We called that band the Krak and Friends, and we rehearsed up 1 or 2 songs with loads of different artists and bands that we knew, and invited them all on stage with us. Jay, Beans on Toast.
Oh
Beans
yeah,
on Toast. He joined us.
Sorry.
Tug of War. He's
Oh
a
yeah.
dancehall hip hop artist, right? So he was actually, he didn't do it, but he was meant to. We booked him. Yeah, we had loads. A pop singer songwriter. The band playing their songs and getting them on. So we shared our Glastonbury experience, but then it went so well. We were given 9 p.m. on the Saturday night, and that was just our gig, and that was wicked. That was so good.
Really?
So yeah, two shows at Glastonbury that year. Yeah,
Was
it was
that
good.
like what band's aim for it to play Glastonbury? Was it
Yeah.
like a highlight for you?
Yes, it will always. It's one of them that will stay. I mean, I feel really lucky now. Just then, I thought, which is my I feel like the Forum was one of my favorites, but then 2 years ago, was it two? No, it was last year. 1 year ago. 1 year ago, we JW Paris played. We supported Coldplay. BBC Radio 1 Big Weekend. So that's pretty epic. I mean, Glastonbury, the Forum, Top of the Pops. Who am I? Do you know what I mean? It's amazing that I can list these things.
Yeah.
A day doesn't go by that I don't think, oh my God, you know.
You must be proud of yourself though, like that list of things you've done.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm very humble. I'm not egotistical and full of myself. No, that's not me. But it's moments like this that we get to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think, wow, yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. Go me. I don't know. I don't know. I am really proud, and that's why it's nice to talk about it. And I keep pointing because my TV's over there, but to watch it because it's hard to remember sometimes. I've done all this stuff. Like it's pretty amazing. I've had millions and millions and millions of record deals. Do you know what I mean? There's probably not a venue in this side of England that I've not played at some point in my life. Be it large or small, I've probably played there. You know, I am proud. I am.
Yeah.
It's been a long road, and I'm not done. By
No,
no
exactly.
means am I finished. No.
Well, before the band you're in now, you actually worked with Adam, didn't you, as well?
Yeah. So yeah, I had a wonderful year with Adam Ant. But you see, that was almost straight after Shambles, like a couple of years later. So you know, Adam has a bit of a reputation of being the Pete Doherty of his time. He was lovely. I loved Adam. That was a great idea. He wanted a girl band for his big comeback. I thought that would have been a great idea. We just couldn't get it off the ground because he's quite a strong character.
Oh, really?
There was no fallout at all,
Oh, no, no, no.
but I just couldn't deal with it. And he really needed a little bit of structure. I like to know what's happening, what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't find the right bass player for him for that band. And yeah, but his idea of having two girl drummers and then girls on guitar and bass with him, I thought was a great idea. Like he took us out as well, like from rehearsals. He's like, let's not rehearse, let's go out, and we'd have like a limo outside, and he took us for dinner at the Ivy. The
Jeez.
Ivy. I can remember sitting there going, "Oh my god, I'm in the Ivy." I nicked one of the napkins. I'm sorry, the Ivy. I had to because it said the Ivy London on it. And I still have it. Because like I'm a little girl from a council estate. What am I doing in the Ivy? Blimey. Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I did. I worked with Adam for about a year.
Did you work
Great
on an
times.
album? Was there an album that never came out?
No, yeah, that's it. Yeah, he'd found an album that he'd recorded in the '90s that he'd never released. So his idea was to his career comeback with an unreleased album with a girl band behind him. I mean, genius. What
Mm.
an idea. And the songs were brilliant. I absolutely loved playing those songs. And it's such a good album. I don't know if he ever did release it. I don't know. Because he did get his band together and he's a touring artist again. But um, I don't know if he plays that album. It was a good album, though.
So then, is it after that that JW Paris happened then? Or
Oh, my babes. Yeah.
brilliant band. I was listening to a great band.
Thank you. Yeah, they're my babes. So at this current time, I have 3 bands. One of them you may remember from the noughties era, Dustin's Bar Mitzvah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a reunited happened, and their drummer can't do it for whatever reason, and I am their drummer. We're touring with the Paddingtons in October.
Yeah, Paddington shares
So
a great band as well.
yeah, but my the reason that I'm playing again is JW Paris. Those 2 boys are honestly look at
You
they
weren't going
crack
to do
me
it as
up.
well, were you? You weren't going to join?
No, I wasn't looking for a band. I was in mum mode. I'd not played in a band for like 10 years. I was busy. I was having children. And, I was happy to live my life on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, look what I used to do. Uh, but I didn't realise I got harassed by their manager, Alex. God love him, to listen to them. And actually, I quite fancied them. That's the truth. I was like, these boys are good looking and their music is absolutely brilliant. And it spoke to me like I could play it. I could feel that I could play it. There was a lot of session that I'd done or what offered over that 10-year, where I wasn't in a band, but I was still doing a few sessions here and there. I have to feel it. And there were some that I did that I couldn't, it didn't have my heart. But that, when I first listened to it, added to their pretty little faces, I was like, yes, you know what? I'm going to do this. And literally haven't looked back. They are, we're playing on Saturday, actually.
Oh, are you playing?
We're in Bedford,
Oh,
the
nice.
Esquires. But they are my heart and soul, and I love them.
It's
Look, they make
great,
me go all silly because I love them.
it's great guitar music, like we speak about, and She's my favourite song.
See now, people like She. They do. We should put that back in the set, boys. If you're listening, I'll text you in a minute. She needs to go back in the set. It's yeah, we don't know where we're headed musically at the moment. We've got a new EP coming out, and
All
I
right.
don't even know how to describe it. It's like, to me, it's like Blur Song 2. How would you
Oh yeah.
describe that?
Uh,
It's like pop
it's like
because
punk,
it's
like
catchy.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is it still heavy like your old music?
Yeah. It's gritty.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
see, the other project, so I've got Dustin's, which is out and out punk. They are London punks. I've got JW, which is whatever we feel, but generally it's kind of like indie
yeah,
Brit pop rock. And then I'm working with something completely different. This project is called The Warr,
yeah,
with very established artist Tug of War. Is dancehall hip hop. I would have just said rap because I didn't know about these genres. And I've spent a long time learning. I'm still learning this different genres. But he's an old friend and had said, look, I need a band to get this out. I've got a lot of tours offered. And I put the band together with Jerome Alexander, who is a good friend of Peter's. He was on the scene and the circuit with Aaron, the bass player, back in the day. So I've known those boys a really long time as well. And being that it's a genre that I've never played before, I'm absolutely loving the challenge. Like, I'm a little white girl playing Jamaican dancehall music. I need to get it right, otherwise I will stop. Do you know what I mean? So, Aaron, the bass player, is an absolute godsend of a musician, and I say he drags me from one end to the other end of a song, making me do it properly over and over again, and we sound really good. So
Oh,
watch this space.
it's funny you mentioned Dustin's band. It's true as well, 'cause I didn't know you were drumming with them. But when I had Tom from the Paddingtons on, he was telling me about them. Like, I'd not heard of them before, but yeah, it's good that you're with them as well. So,
Yeah, it's lots of fun. And like I said at the beginning, I did try and bail because it was so fast. I was like, guys, I'm not 20, right? And I'm deep in dance hall and hip hop at the moment. I cannot be playing this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And I said, look, I'll just duck out. I don't want to waste your time. They were like, no, we need you. I'm like, all right, I'll give it another go. And I tried again. I was like, I can play it, but I'm not feeling it because it's too fast. By the
yeah,
time the song's done and we're moving on, but they persevered, and they pushed me. They did, and I pushed myself. It was another challenge, and I feel like I've cracked it. And we've got our first show is October with the Paddingtons, and they are great fun as well. I feel really like, how lucky am I? I've got 3 absolutely banging bands.
is it
Bang! I
hard
mean,
work having 3 bands?
I very rarely even have time to sleep these days,
Yeah,
but I love it.
it would like a mum of 2. You mentioned the farm, 3 bands. You must be rushed off your feet.
Yeah. My day starts at 6:30, and I'm a mum. Then I farm. Then I mum again a bit more, and then I drum. And I usually get home at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll have a couple of hours sleep, 300 coffees, and then it all starts again.
Jeez.
But I love it. Look, I live out like an hour and a half from London. I have 3 bands, the band and the farm, the kids and the farm. Everybody demands my time and energy. And I've just learned how to juggle Really,
Yeah.
I just constantly juggle. Yeah, I mean, tonight I've got a video shoot with JW and rehearsals with Dustin's. Tomorrow's rehearsal with The Warr. Friday, I think Tuggy wants to shoot a video, so I might be shooting a video for The Warr. Saturday, I've got a gig with JW. Sunday, I've got to breathe. I'll have to be a mum, I suppose. Mum, Sunday, mum. And then Monday is back to school again. You know, I like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah, good, yeah.
I just don't know which cap I'm going to have on at any point. Do you know?
Yeah. See, it's good with JW Paris as well, because I was looking at a Q&A you did online, and you've got fans in like South Korea and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we have. Yeah, Korea and Brazil. Yeah. Oh, Singapore also. We've got quite a pocket in Singapore. Yeah. So book us, guys. Book up.
Where's the craziest venue? We mentioned the gorilla thing, exposure. What about, is there any other crazy places? You mentioned a few others.
Oh, what with the Krak?
Not anywhere, like any band, what's your like most craziest place you played?
Oh God. It's been so many. I think the Krak has to have it because there's such a list. I mean, we very rarely even played a standard venue.
Crazy.
What did we? Oh, do you know what though? JW last year we did. We thought we was playing one song in the back of a London taxi. We asked the driver if we could put all these GoPros on it, and he could just drive us around some landmarks while we video one song. She actually. But he really enjoyed it. And he's like, oh, we'll just keep going. So we ended up playing like a whole set in the back. I mean, it was acoustic. Did I had a cardboard box? Because I was like banging on a cardboard. Yes, I did. Oh my God. Yeah, because the tambourine was too loud because we're all face to face in this taxi. And I didn't just want to clap all my laps. So yeah, I used a cardboard box. I just drummed on a cardboard. God. But then, yeah, the Gorilla Enclosure, the Orient Express, a clothing shop, and someone called the police, and the police shut it down. We were just playing a gig in a shop. Carnaby Street, another clothing shop. Yeah, there's loads, and the Wetherspoons with and a social club with Shambles.
What about that Radio 1 show with JW Paris? That was like a homecoming gig for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've got a little documentary about it on YouTube. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I did watch it. Yeah, I'll leave a link.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It's cute though, isn't it? But yeah, that was Luton. So that festival's in a new city every year. And Luton, it's small and forgotten about, let's be honest, bless it. But that's where the boys are from. So it was so exciting. They set it up like we was having an interview on Zoom, actually, a radio interview. And our manager, well, it's not our manager, but the label, Alex, was on call as well. And he's never on these like interviews you do. I remember looking at him like in the screen. I'm like, what's he doing online? All right, fine. Just got the whole crew on. And they announced to us that have been like, you guys are opening the BBC Radio 1 Big Weekender in May. And honestly, there was no idea that we'd even been put forward for it. We didn't know anything. And it was absolutely epic. It was just amazing. See, like grassroots, we got that gig ourselves. We apply for maybe 100 festivals every year. We all sit at home and do all the applications. And that one is not even an applicable. What you can't apply for that. But BBC introducing team really like us and put us forward, and we were chosen. Amazing. Like, it was epic. It was epic. I like that. Like there's crew, it's a proper stage, you've got good equipment, good sound system, there's a crowd. I like that. I'm a little bit of a diva sometimes.
How different is the music scene now to when you started out? It must be just completely different.
It is, and I've never been good with change. I'm if it ain't broke, don't fix. And to me, it worked back in the 90s, even in the early noughties. now it's social media. You have to crack social media, otherwise you're not going to get a look in.
Yeah.
That's the God's honest truth. It is. And I'm working so closely with Tug of War. He's an absolute like model for a nowadays artist. He's absolutely smashing a solo career with the socials. You know, he's still gigging, he does the interviews, radio, blah, 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 blah. But because socials is what is important, he's smashing it. Smashing it. And that is it. That is the key to it these days. You know, you have to be a social media creator and an artist second. Do you know what I mean? We're not very good. JW Paris are not very good because we're a bunch of idiots, right? We're idiots. So when we do post, it's like Aaron falling over and trying to keep his pint up in the mud at a festival.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
or,
like that went massive. That was a proper viral video, and that's just him being an idiot. Do you know what I mean? And then there's, you know, we were at a festival playing 2 venues on the other side of town. It was a trek, and there's another video that went quite viral where I'm giving him Aaron, who's like 65 foot tall, giving him a piggyback through the town centre because his legs are, you know, that kind of thing. Like, people want to know more about you now. You need to be more accessible with social media. And because we're so busy, music, sadly, is not our main job. You know, we've all got 9 to 5 jobs, so we can't focus constantly on it. And it feels like if you can't do that, you can't crack it.
yeah.
I don't know. I know what you got to do, but I can't put those pieces into action for us. So yeah, what we're doing, JW Paris, is because we love it, you know.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Like, as long as
Yeah.
you're enjoying what you're doing, it don't matter, does it?
Yeah, that's it. I think because of my experience and the time I've been here, that I have more fire in my belly to be heard than ever before. But I also am wise to my expectations. Like, I know that you need to be a social media creator. I struggle to take a selfie. You know, it's taken me 20 minutes to set this camera up. You know what I mean? I just can't. I can post you videos of like a reshare of anything or my pig on my socials. But like, if you want me to put a video together and, you know, get ready with me or spend the day with me at soundcheck, I can't do that. I can't. I'm terrible with it. Do you know what I mean? Danny and Aaron of JW are much better though. So when we get our when the EP is nearly finished being mixed and mastered, so we're going to get a plan of action for the next couple of months. So hopefully you'll see we'll become content creators. How about that?
I have had musicians on and they say like the social media takes up more time than like playing the music and
Yeah, it does.
It's
It
crazy.
does. You've got to follow, like, unfollow, reshare, tag, collaborate, and that's before you've written and recorded a song and posted that on. You know, come with me to rehearsal, and you've got to film everything and cut it. Oh, it's over my head.
So we mentioned the 3 bands, your farm, and you're still a mother. What is life like then? You said you're enjoying it all.
I am so happy in my life right now. I don't get a moment to be bored and consider what I'm doing. I think I'm ridiculously lucky. I've got, with the bands, some incredible friends. My children are amazing, and they're old enough now that I can say, girls, I've got rehearsal this day, I'm doing a video that day, I've got a gig that day, and they're happy. They don't kick off. I don't have major mum guilt for leaving them 2 or 3 nights a week for rehearsals or gigs. They come with where I can take them to come and see. They love a festival. They're well versed in, you know, stand over there, I've just got to play my drums, and then, you know, and the bands are so different, but equally they have my heart. You know, I always banging on about vibes and energy and chemistry and all that stuff, and I still pinch myself every day that I've got three bands,
Yeah.
that I'm absolutely loving. I'm so excited about. Dustin's, we haven't got any plans past the gigs in October, so it's kind of a question mark as to, is there a future with what we're doing? I don't know. I'd like to think so. But so when I think up and coming, it's The Warr and JW Paris. They're so different, and they make me really happy.
No, it's great to see that like he's still doing it. Like you say, three bands, which is a lot of work, but it's great to see that it's keeping you busy and you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I never, ever, ever thought I could cope even with two bands. You know, I feel like I'm cheating on one band with another. I'm like, oh God, this feels so awkward. You know, I'm like rushing to JW going, I've got rehearsal with The Warr tomorrow, but I still love you, and I'm not going to. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh, I can't do rehearsal tomorrow because I'm rehearsing with JW, but I still love you. But now I've thrown Dustin in the mix as well. It's like, everyone understands I've got three bands, and I like to think they know I've got 100% commitment and loyalty. And but I still have a life. I have children and my farm, which are my number one priority. And everybody is understanding of everybody else in my life at the moment. And long may it last.
Is that where you kind of switch off from the chaos of like music when you're on the farm? Is that you kind of
Yeah, but I do find if I'm at home with the farm for too long a stretch without a drum in there somewhere, I start to get itchy. Like, I get irritable. I need to go out and be Gemma and play my drums. But I do. Luckily, I have a studio here at home. It's a storage container with a drum kit in it. Um, but that's fine. But what I need for my drums is not just playing on my own. It's not really. I've never been very good at that. It's a bit boring. I like the hanging out with the band members. You know, the
yeah?
chats. They're my friends. Let's all be idiots, play one song, and then chat about it for 20 minutes. You know, I like that. So it's nice to have the switch off. I've always had my horses all my life to be able to get away from the city and the smog and the hubbub and the drums and the chaos, and just be at one with nature. But it's true. I do. I have to have that. I am a stable rat in my heart as well, and it's nice. I do. I pinch myself living here every day. I can't believe it, because again, I'm from a council estate in London. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My dad had big ideas for us, and it took a while, but we got it. We live out here now, and it's amazing. And we still have our business in London, and my bands. The kids are out here. The bands are in London. It's great. Things are really good, and I do feel very lucky.
Yeah, Joe, it's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed that. Been brilliant to speak to you.
Do you know what? This is my favourite, to just talk, because I've got nothing new to say to anyone that knows me. So, do you know what I mean? I can't go, oh, let me tell you about that time that I played this story. Do you know what I mean? They're all boring. So it's quite nice to talk about it. Thank you.
No, honestly, it's been brilliant hearing all your stories and stuff.
Oh, you got to check out The Warr.
Yeah,
Just
I'll
got to
leave a
check it
link
out.
to everything like your bands and your social media and stuff. I'll leave it
Yeah,
in the description.
genius, ledge.
But good luck with it all. I hope it all works out.
Yeah, me too. I might end up a little puddle of jelly by Christmas at this rate with all this drumming.
Good
No,
luck.
I get bored when there's nothing happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I text everyone, can we just go and have a rehearsal? Can we just go have a jam? Please? Please?
Do you still have that same excitement then as when you were like a
Yeah,
teenager?
oh God, yeah. Probably more. Probably
Yeah, yeah.
more. Because I know if we rehearse enough, we're going to sound tight. And then I know the people that we can contact. Like The Warr, we're about to go on tour, hopefully tour. We've got one date confirmed. But in November with a band called Peng Shui. I've been a super fan of them for years. And I took Tuggy to see Peng Shui a couple months ago, going, look, this is the band I want us to go on tour with. Illiman, the singer, was like, "Oh my God, that's Tug of War," because he's a really well known, and we've got one show and hopefully more.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. But you're still making memories as well, aren't you? Like you say there.
It's the best. I love my life. I've nothing to complain about. I don't. And I like to think that I don't actually complain very much. I moan if it's raining.
Is it raining? I think it's raining. Is it raining
It's
there?
absolutely chucking it down. And I've got 14 horses that need feeding in about half an hour. So I'll moan then.
Yeah, yeah.
But about my life in general, no, I'm happy. I have a good time.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you so much. It has honestly been brilliant to speak to you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Gemma.
You're a ledge.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.